And welcome to the Raw Review. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by all the Dudley boys, Michael Sidgwick from WhatCulture, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of Man and Raw. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review Raw, but also SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete with a really good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Sidgwick to review last night's Raw. Great to have you back.
Hey!
How was the holiday?
It was absolutely wonderful. 6.25 stars. Oh, 6.25.
And what a return to come back to Monday Night Raw.
There was some stuff on this show that I earnestly liked.
Yeah.
And there was some stuff that I didn't, but we'll get onto that. All right.
Just to fill you in, by the way, whilst you've been away, Bronson Reed and Odyssey Jones are two of the biggest stars in WWE.
I don't get it, but I mean, haven't caught up on Raw last week.
Oh, no.
Haven't done my own work. So I was not really impressed by the New Day or whatever last night. But I did see the Bronson Reed stuff. So it was kind of all over X. It was trending. It was really well received. I did not expect that. I'm looking forward to getting into that. I'm going to tear open a potentially old wound and need a rant about something that happened when I was away. But I will find the appropriate time to have it. You'll disagree entirely.
Okay.
But just...
Yeah, we'll say whilst you're away, Hamflet announced that last week's Raw was his favourite Raw of the year.
I might have scrolled on Twitter and thought, I might have picked the best week in recorded history of work, anyone's work, to go on holiday. If you look what happened in Britain last week, I was away from it all, thank Christ. And I didn't really go on X, certainly didn't post much. Every now and then I'd have a scroll. Mainly I was looking at football Twitter more than wrestling Twitter because I wanted to get away from it. But
good to take. I agree. I think it's really good to just take a break from it all.
I was on football Twitter, let's face it.
Yeah.
Weird Twitter. And then I did see a Hamflet tweet and I was like, this guy acting like an episode of Raw's a religious experience to him. I don't need this in my life. Scroll past that. So I'm glad I missed it.
I'm sure he'll bring it all back when he returns from his holiday. But let's get into last night's episode of Raw. Obviously, SummerSlam as well. You were away for that.
I didn't. I saw some of it.
It was.
I saw some of it.
My favourite.
I sure did.
Favorite PLE of the year.
Yeah, I'm glad I missed last week then.
Yeah.
It would have been quite the podcast.
Rhea Ripley, obviously big.
I'm going to tear open a wound.
Big factor in SummerSlam. Of course, she comes out to open this week's episode of Raw to a huge reaction. She's had a lot of time to think about what happened at SummerSlam. She's relived it every day, felt every emotion possible. She felt embarrassed, heartbroken. Right now, she just feels pissed the hell off, though. And she addresses Dominik directly, saying he stabbed her in the back. But the thing is, it just wasn't deep enough. And the crowd sort of reacted like that was... That had multiple meanings. I think she said, you've probably heard that before. And I'll be honest, Sidge, that completely flew over my head.
Well, right, okay. So what she was, it was a double entendre. So what she was on the surface referring to was the size of the blade. It wasn't deep enough for her to like...
You didn't kill me.
You didn't kill me. Bled a little bit, but you didn't kill me. When she said Wilbourn, right... You've probably heard this before. And then she kind of smugly and viciously said, just wasn't deep enough. And everyone went, whoa. She wasn't talking about like a metaphorical blade stabbing her. She's talking about Dominik Mysterio's very real but not satisfactory penis.
Is pork sword stabbing her?
So apparently it's not big enough to satisfy us sexually.
Fair enough.
Which... You know, I've been reliably informed. It's all about rhythm and stroke game, and other things are kind of immaterial in the equation. So I didn't really know what she was getting at either, because I've been reliably informed that it doesn't really matter.
Anyway, Rhea warns Liv Morgan she can't run away forever. She's Rhea Bloody Ripley, and she's going to remind everyone of that. And then you hear Liv, and you see, they're up in the crowd. And Liv hands the mic to Dom because he's got something to say. And he obviously gets booed out the building, and Rhea has to literally say, no, let's hear what he's got to say. Dom said he was a man. He deserved to be treated like one. Everyone tells him he sucks. Dom says, you tried to change me, Rhea, instead of just letting me be me. I was embarrassed getting bossed around. I was forced to call you Mammy, but now I've got a girl who'll call me Daddy, who gives me chicken tendies and lets me play video games whenever I want.
Yeah, I love the Four Horsemen, mate. What the hell is this chicken tendies. I mean, it works for this audience.
Perfect for his character.
He's a little... It's somewhat cathartic watching him get punched once. Then he has to have a 9-minute back and forth TV match, which invariably sucks. Chicken tendies. What happened to this business? God damn it.
She also helped him beat his deadbeat dad, something that Rhea Ripley never did.
That was good plotting.
Rhea said, actually, I've got some words for you that you probably haven't heard in a while. I'm proud of you. He's grown into the man he is today. That's one of her biggest accomplishments. He finally did something for himself. He finally won gold. But she always wanted him to beat Ray on his own. Now he's making his own decisions, though, and the most recent one will be his last.
Is that a load of bollocks?
What?
I've always wanted him to beat Ray on his own. They were heels 4 or 5 months ago, and they cheated all the time. Well, a load of crap. Yeah. Anyway, carry on.
Liv says, there's only one thing you ever said that's true. Dom's all man and he's all mine. You've got nothing. Look at you. No family, no Dom, no title. The division's mine. Everything you love, basically. Rhea says, I'm coming for it all. Nothing's going to stop me. And it's nice, actually, that you two like the sound of your own voices so much, because now we always know where you are. And brilliant shot. Damian Priest just rises up behind them, attacks Dom. They fight into the concourse. Morgan tries to help, but Rhea chases her off. Eventually, Dom and Priest brawl down to ringside. He tries to chin Priest and leg it, but obviously gets caught by Damian Priest. But Carlito, who I think was wearing one shoe throughout the entire match that followed, because it was like, oh, bollocks. Carlito attacks and Priest sends him outside to close this opening segment at least.
Look, this was a pretty raucous scene. It was fun.
I had a load of fun with this.
I mean, the crowd were massively up for it. If you're into this sort of thing, it was probably really cathartic, bit of entertainment value. It's a bit of everything. He's a rule in wrestling, right? I was reminded of this when I was watching Bryan Danielson versus Jeff Jarrett from Dynamite last week, which is up there with Takeshita and Darby and the Casino Gauntlet as my TV match of the year. I thought it was phenomenal.
I'm going to catch up on that.
Watch it. It's incredible.
Preview tomorrow.
Absolutely incredible. You know, we've established certain rules where, banter didn't exist in the past.
Yep. Be born earlier.
Be born earlier. You have to be born earlier to understand why WWE was so bad for much of the 21st century. Where the magic formula for WWE matches, if there's 5 wrestlers involved, it's automatically
yes.
Anything that happens backstage in terms of a fight is automatically goated, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe it's one of the low key reasons why the obviously Austin Star Power, blah, blah, blah. It was so prevalent in the Attitude Era. It was such a people loved it. People play the video games just to do that bit.
Yes.
Anything that happens physically backstage, not talking about invisible camera segments or WWE promos or anything like that. Anything that gets physical backstage, automatically goated. And this wasn't goated, but it was entertaining.
Yeah, a lot of fun this. It led to the opening match, Damian Priest versus Carlito.
This was not entertaining.
Carlito's in control for parts of this. So, take with that whether you will.
Yeah, I'm bored. Rigid. That's what I took from it.
When we come back from a break, Carlito hit a swinging neck break of a 2, but Priest nails him with a wheel kick. Broken arrow, and then the South of Heaven chokeslam gets the 1, 2, 3. For now, the Judgment Day.
Street Trash.
Street Trash. I love it as a name.
Only because we can say trash.
Yeah. They attack after the match, but Rhea comes out to make the save, kicks Carlito in the cock, confronts Finn Balor. JD McDonough eats the super kick for Balor, though, who manages to get away. Priest gives McDonough a chokeslam. Nice moment again for Priest and Ripley, a bit like last week. They hug, but then Dom thinks this is a perfect time to attack. Priest catches him by the throat and just hands him to Rhea Ripley, but before she can hit him with Riptide, Liv Morgan pulls him off, so... That's what she
did pull him off.
Yeah.
You're an asshole. I will say, it's not my thing, this. but this is really well arranged in terms of that bit's going to happen. No, you've been deprived of it. Oh, no, now you've been deprived of it. All good in terms of building anticipation for the key showdowns that'll happen at the pay-per-view. Really good action-forward teasing. This is really well done. If you're into the idea of that mixed tag, they did a quite spectacular job of making it just like elusive and slippery, where you just really want it. No, not yet.
The amount of people who've already been up for like the Razor's Edge, potentially to be put through a table from last week.
Really well arranged. Yeah,
I'll mention now. Yeah, that later on in the show they announced, along with a street trash video promo from Morgan and Dom and Finn, warning Priest to watch out for backstabber Balor. It's going to be a mixed tag match. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest versus Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio. I can't wait for that.
That'll be a lot of fun. Not great, but fun.
Yeah. And Randy versus Gunther, obviously already announced from last week.
I'm fascinated by that. We'll get into that one later, obviously.
Got a lot of pressure on that match because you were talking about it on the news today, how much you enjoyed their first.
Yeah. The only thing I worry about is the dynamic. Look, we'll see. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we were sort of speculating as to, this is on the Monday after SummerSlam, as to what they were going to do. And I said, we'll give Drew a title shot in this weird period because it makes sense because
he's just beat Punk.
And it doesn't matter that it's kind of heel versus heel because Gunther's not a heel in Berlin. But yeah, I'm glad that they're circling back to sort of cover what happened with the not pin King of the Ring thing, and then you've got Randy Orton obviously being like, well, that didn't work, I'll kill Cody instead. Ivy Nile backstage chats to Maxine Dupri, saying don't be there for the tag match later, the Creeds versus what's left of Alpha Academy. But Maxine says, I'm not going to leave my family behind. And Niall says, I figured you'd say that. A little bit of a tease of what came later.
You've really got to pay attention.
You really do.
You've really got to pay attention. It's a new way of watching.
Wait till we get to the SmackDown preview later on this week. I've got something I've been keeping an eye on that's maybe escaped a few people's
purview.
Indeed. New Wyatt Sicks video following their very successful in-ring debut.
Caught up with that.
Dexter Lumis is a different person.
It continues to be a remarkable success.
It's funny, Andrew Pollard, brilliant, lovely bloke.
Oh, he's the best Pollard.
He was doing a news video either yesterday or over the weekend.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, top bloke, apart from being a Wrexham fan. He was doing a video.
I've just remembered what he's like in the international football tournament.
Other than that.
What a cock.
Other than that, he did a video on a wrestler's amazing transformation. I thought, I always love seeing those. I clicked on it, and it was Dexter Lumis, and I was like, an amazing transformation. And then I saw the picture that he posted on Instagram, and
oh my god,
he was already, he already had a big old V cack, of course.
Yeah.
But was already
1.5 inches.
Already in great shape. And now I was like, Jesus.
The thing about Dexter Lumis, and I was writing about this today actually, so while it's at the top of my head, is that he always was jacked, but like in a sort of blocky way where he never really moved particularly well. And I never knew where the point was, because he'd always do this like, you just move. At the end of the match where he would do that sort of like back roll, leg drop deal. It's like, are you trying to be this like sort of boring, methodical guy, and then the idea is, oh no, you can do that and get a bigger pop for it? Didn't really work, because when Dexter Lumis used to wrestle, away from the Wyatt Sicks, of course, you could hear a rat piss on cat.
Yes.
I think he's finally realised, right, working like early 90s Taker isn't working in this era. He doesn't have the presence for it. Fair play, he's become like quite dynamic.
Do you know what also really works for a lot of the Wyatt Sicks as well is like that sort of slithery thing that he does where he trails his legs. He reminded me of my son when he's first starting to try and crawl. Well, I won't be needing those legs. I'll just use my arms to get place. The army crawl sort of thing. He does that. That works as part of this weird group. And Gacy's obviously sort of backwards thing, which is, now is seen as sort of an homage to Bray Wyatt. It all sort of really fits really nicely
I like
together.
It when the dudes how the dudes at other dudes
yes.
just looks cool.
Yeah, we've always seen potential in Gacy from his time in NXT, but it's so nice to see this all coming together. Anyway, this is a Bo Dallas VHS thing. He's talking about obviously how emotional last week was, being there in Baltimore where it all began, etc., etc. He was there. Bray, obviously, is they're alluding to. Something's happening now, something big. The work's not done. The work must continue. Other doors shall be opened. And with flashes of Uncle Howdy, he keeps getting louder and louder, saying, "My life for you," basically. So.
Yeah. Not sure what this was.
There was an allusion to maybe who they were talking to next, and I've just remembered. I can't actually remember. It was another one of those backstage. And sometimes if you actually look, when Triple H does these backstage segments where they're either talking or walking, keep your eye on the background.
Yeah, you've got. That's the thing. Like, it's a new way of looking at it. You've got to every little detail matters. Yeah. I didn't know what the end of this. My life for you. Is it like an expression of grief or I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying the Wyatt Sicks stuff far more than I thought I would once they got in the ring. To be perfectly honest,
yeah,
so I'll let it play out. I tell you what else I'm really enjoying. What the hell's going on with the New Day? Xavier Woods approaches Kofi Kingston and his new best mate, Odyssey Jones. Woods was, "I've been looking for you everywhere. I want to talk about tonight." And Kingston said, "Well, yeah, I'm excited to talk about tonight. Odyssey Jones had our back last week, so we're going to be in his corner for his debut match," which is still a weird sentence to say, considering how long ago he was drafted. And Woods, a bit like last week in the post-match. So Odyssey Jones comes and makes the save against the Final Testament and helps them win that match against AOP and hits an awesome double sidewalk slam on Akam and Razor. And there's a great, you probably didn't see this, but there was a bit afterwards where like they're backstage. Odyssey Jones obviously buzzing just to be hanging out with the New Day. And they sort of explain that him and Kofi have made friends in the Performance Center whilst Kofi was recovering from his injury and what have you. Kofi's like, yay, popping bottles of champagne. And there's just a little look from Xavier. Again, that was sort of here of, is this really what I want to be doing? Is this really, am I okay with all this? And we saw it in what immediately followed, because it was Odyssey Jones versus Vincent Winey. A very brief squash match this. He chucks him around, forearms, swinging boss man slam for his finish. And then Karrion Kross enters with the Final Testament, Akam and Razor, Scarlett Bordeaux, and then there's another guy.
Love him.
He's the best.
Love Ellering. Need more weird 80s guys, man.
Kross sort of alludes to the fact...
Mischief.
Yes. He alludes to the fact that Odyssey Jones, you would assume, is just there to replace Big E in the New Day. But the reality, he says, is Kofi Kingston is using Jones to replace Xavier Woods in the New Day. Woods is like, come on, you must be tired of doing this every week. And he seems to be setting up either a singles challenge or probably a tag match again. But Kingston grabs the mic again, and there's another little look from Xavier saying, let's have a 6-man with Odyssey Jones as part of our group. He misspoke, which is kind of it's a bit of a botch, really, because he called them the Final Testicle. They called the Final Testament. I like this sort of slow burn thing that they're doing with Xavier. I will say that, because I think if you'd have said to us, "Can you split the New Day up?" You'd have been like, "Come on, what are you doing?" But Karrion Kross is patter, and his plan is sort of working, because you can see why Xavier Woods would be like, "What's going on here? Why are we?" And the sort of seeds that Karrion Kross is trying to plant in Xavier Woods' mind are actually believable, rather than like, "Oh, you never did anything in the New Day." It's like, well, he did, obviously. Yeah. He's part of some of their biggest title wins. But the whole, why are you so pally-pally with this guy? I don't even know who he is, and he's suddenly your best mate.
This is quite a good plot twist. Genuinely quite a good plot twist. If you told me a year ago, like I've enjoyed the New Day throughout the years, like I really have.
Yes.
Me and Hamflett talk a lot about how like incredibly impressive it was for them to get over as much as they did in that old system.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Like they're the last, other than the Shield, like the last actual success story that happened by design and not accident, even though it kind of happened by accident. But then by design, for a long time, they're really over.
It's weird watching that promo back and all the different outfits that they're wearing. And
This did remarkably well to get over, but then about 2022, it's like, why is still a New Day? You know, it was dead. And then Karrion Kross was dead on arrival on the main roster. They've got something here with these two acts together, and you just never thought it would happen. But I never thought it would happen. Good. The Odyssey Jones stuff is clever. It's the actual thing that if you're Xavier, you would be thinking, oh, this isn't right. This isn't right, this.
I know you just come back off holiday and you're on a real high, so I don't want to really throw you off from that. But obviously, you know, he's quite cryptic sometimes with Karrion Kross, and I thought, you know, alongside that, it's the perfect time for this week's Raw Riddle.
Raw Riddle gives me the creeps.
Normally we do it on the Raw preview, but
you're a part-timer, so you weren't in.
It's wacky.
Mr. Stagg.
Wacky Summer is still ongoing and is set to continue for a brief while longer. September will be back to normal when the summer is over. So to tax your noggin this week, Michael Sidgwick, what is cut on a table but is never eaten? What is cut on a table but never eaten? Yeah, I think cut on a table.
Chopping board.
It's good. It's not right. I'm going to give you another guess.
Okay.
I suppose you'd cut. Oh, yeah, cut on a chop. Yeah.
I put my chopping board on a bench.
Do you?
Not a table. Where's your chopping board live?
Stored or when used?
When used.
Yeah, just on the side.
Side of the hobs.
Yeah, right hand side of the hobs. With the little hole that people are like, whoa, you can put things through that, which doesn't actually work if you're chopping potatoes because they're too big. So
yeah.
like
One of these life hacks.
Yeah.
I hate this life hack bollocks.
Yeah.
I hate it. What is cut on a table but never eaten?
Nicholas, any ideas? It's too spooky. Too spooky.
What is cut on a table but never eaten? Knife when you're sharpening it.
Again.
You don't really cut it. I mean, I clearly do not know.
What is cut on a table but is never eaten? A deck of cards.
Absolutely crap.
More Raw Riddle next week.
Absolutely crap. Can we get the pervy comments back?
As with everything, you have to have the right answer that I've got written down. Candice Michelle's in the crowd here. Just reminding me with the pervy comments thing, doesn't she?
Because you're a pervert.
Loved Candice Michelle back in the day. Still love her now, actually. Drew McIntyre approached Postman Pearce. I
don't know.
I get a bit flustered around. Anyway, CM Punk's not there. Oh, God. Due to travel issues.
Thought he made his towns.
Drew didn't care and wanted to know why SmackDown's Randy Orton's getting a title shot. Orton got screwed 3 months ago and sat around like a snake. Hey. Waiting for his opportunity. Orton only got screwed once, whilst Drew's been screwed over repeatedly. Drew was going to take care of this himself. Pierce didn't like the sound of it, but McIntyre assured him he'd be on his best behaviour. More on that later. Then it was time for that Tornado tag match. Alpha Academy versus the Creeds, or American Made, I suppose. And that was Otis and Akira Tozawa. And, before the match, a little bit of a tease for another podcast we've got coming later in today. Otis and Tozawa walk down, and Otis has a stare down with NXT North American Champion Obafemi.
Oh my God.
What? We're getting that tonight. Are you joking me? NXT already was stacked to the gills with all the fallout from American Bayers.
And God bless the United States.
We get that because he's doing an open challenge, and it's obviously, it's been accepted by Otis. They also had a video of Chad Gable, who's in Paris. He was needs to get away from it all, and also there to watch the Olympic gold medal matches and do a bit of scouting. When he's going to get back, when he comes back, he's going to take care of unfinished business with the Wyatts, he said. And they also announced congratulations to Masai Russell, who won gold in 110 meter hurdles, and she's actually a part of WWE's Next in Line program. Fair play. Did you see the thing, by the way, just on a complete tangent? about the questionnaire that people did, where they said if you started training right now, what's the likelihood you could make it into the Olympics?
Oh my God!
It's like 25% of people were like, "Yeah, I reckon so."
Yeah.
10% were like, "100 meters final, probably." Pretty rapid. Sub 10 seconds for me. Preposterous. What would I ask this to Hamlet? So I'm asking it to you. You have to do an Olympic sport. I've got your kids. You have to do one. Which one are you picking?
Oh, well. As much training time as I need.
Yeah. Which one do you, which one do you think you'd be actually passable at?
I was good at football as a kid.
Yeah.
Wasn't particularly pacey. A good vision and weight of a pass. Good midfield conductor. That's a boring answer. Gymnastics, not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell. So obviously that not fast, so that rules out the sprints. I'm trying to work out, right, what was my worst thing in PE. Phys ed to do, right? Was it? I used to hate rugby, man.
I never played it.
I was never really good at like the physical side of football. More of a five-a-side. Futsal. That was my game. So when it was rugby, I was like, there was like one kid who actually liked rugby. Everyone else just liked football. And he was like bang into it. And like a bloodhound, he was like, he's soft as shit. He's skiving, he's scared, he's skiving on the wings. If you run every sort of play through him, and we'll get all the tries. Oh, God.
Hockey?
I used to like hockey. I used to do roller hockey, actually, with my roller blades on. So maybe that. I used to hate, so I couldn't do sprints. I wasn't particularly explosive or anything. I used to hate, with a passion, the 400 meters, because it was like, you have to keep speed for like the 100 meters, but for 400 or... What? That's impossible.
4 times.
I'm sure I had asthma or something. And just no one told me, because I couldn't do it. So yeah, I'm not very good at any of this.
Breakdancing? That Aussie can do it. Have you seen the clip of the Australian doing the breakdancing?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Dancing, right?
It's already been removed from the Olympics, by the way, I've read. It's not there for 2028.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Dancing...
Give us your evidence. There you go. Fair enough.
Dancing, no. And I'll tell you why. It's because I was once in a drinking establishment in Newcastle upon Tyne. Gone, never forgotten, called Gotham Town.
Oh my God.
Real ones know. And dancing in Gotham Town. And my mate once met someone he had a thing with. Judas by saying, it's my mate there. Is he crap at dancing? And that was his...
Oh, no.
That was his way. That was his way in. That was his way in. What an arsehole. So obviously breakdancing is off the agenda. I wish I'd thought of it first. He wasn't Fred Astaire.
Yeah. Let's see what
you're talking about.
Let's see what you've got. That should be good.
You like the cooks and all that? He was crap. So breakdancing's out. Well, maybe on the gun.
I can see you doing that guy.
I can be a dead-eyed concentration. Bang. The gun or football.
Yeah, I said when me and Hamlet were talking about it, I said the
pole vault's terrifying, by the way.
See that video with the bloke with his big dick?
Yeah, his big old dick. It was an elaborate way of announcing.
So I can still do pole vault. I should be absolutely fine.
What
with
an
that
elaborate way of going, it's just too big. What do you want to see? You know what I mean? Training to become a pole vaulter for the express purpose of going, it's just too big. Can't do anything with this. Evidently I couldn't do that. So
I discovered my calling watching, because I said the clay pigeon shooting, whatever that's called, not the laser one. Then I saw one like literally 2 days ago that looked class. I think it's called the modern pentathlon. You just have to run around a circuit, but you have every lap you have to stop and shoot a target, and you have to hit the thing 5 times, and you can't move on until you've done that. And I was like, I'll give that a go. That sounds decent.
You know what I would do? I would invent a new Olympic sport, right? Wherein I've always found the idea of running around, just like running on a night as a form of exercise. It's like when I have to chase my metro, my train, my shins hurt. And as I've only done this for about like 10 seconds. Who would go running? Not me. Swimming is like a total procedure. Where I love to swim. I'm quite good at swimming. I'm obviously not tall enough. I don't have the wingspan to be a swimmer, so I can't do that either. But I've always enjoyed it. But the idea is like, it's such a procedure where it's like, obviously I've got like kids and all the rest of it. So like evenings are done. It's like you have to go there, you have to do it, and then you have to get changed and shower. It just feels like it's easier to go running, but running I can't do because I don't have the tank for it. But swimming, you can almost fool yourself because it's actually fun into thinking, I'm doing loads of exercise here, but I'm fooling my body into doing it. When I've got the most like gas in my tank to do something, it's when, like, obviously they're a bit old for it now, but like soft plays. I mean, take the kids to soft play. I'd run around with James and all the rest of it. It's like, I've actually done quite a bit of exercise here because it's goated. You can run up things, you get a slide at the end.
Yes.
That's much better than running.
So that's the new Olympic sport?
Obstacle course / soft play, Olympic level.
That sounds
That's
amazing.
what I would do. That's what I would do. It's the only time where I've like, I actually run around quite a bit, yeah?
Yeah. That's a genius suggestion.
I think they should do some kind of like obstacle course thing. Maybe that would be my big multi-millionaire business idea. Running, your shins hurt. It's not fun. Swimming takes 5 minutes to peel your bloody stuff off at the end. Right? If you want to get fit, come to my complex. It's soft play for grown-ups and it's goated. I'll do the ads as well. I'll do the copy.
I'll get the IOC on. So we'll get that ad for LA as well. 2028.
Let us know in the comments if that would be of interest to you. It's like a form of exercise to go and do.
Back to Monday Night Raw. This was Tornado Tag Match. As I mentioned, the Creeds versus Otis and Akira Tozawa. To take us to a break, Otis press slammed Tozawa onto the Creeds. That was decent. They're in control, though, when we come back. But Tozawa hits him with a double DDT and brings Otis, who runs wild, hits a caterpillar, but Brutus just breaks up the cover. The Creeds double-teamed Otis, but Tozawa broke up that cover. Brutus tried to powerbomb Tozawa off the top, but he hits him with a Hurricane Rana instead, who fires up. Oh, God, a terrifying moment as he goes for that suicide dive and got his leg caught in the ropes. I think Julius just about caught him, thankfully. Julius gets Otis on his shoulders and does an electric chair, but Otis also hits Brutus with a superplex. Tozawa hits a huge flying senton onto Julius, but then suddenly Ivy Nile, as we mentioned earlier on, appears at ringside and attacks Maxine Dupri. Beats her up on the table, puts her in a dragon sleeper. This, of course, distracts Otis and Akira Tozawa. That allows them to knock Otis out of the ring and double stack it. Tozawa didn't really need to do that, but they get the 1-2-3.
This was an absolute blast. I had loads of fun with it. It was that proper, I mean, they've been around like a hot minute, so you can't really, vintage Creed energy of, it's just on the edge of being a little bit sloppy and chaotic and not quite WWE house style. They have this energy, the Creeds, where it's like, it's so like the action's great, but just on the edge of going a bit awry in a way that really captivates me. Some of the actual
it was always good when they fought local competitors because you thought it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter about them. It doesn't really matter about them. Let's destroy them. It's hunky dory. I had a blast with this. Thought like they built to the action set pieces. And like my kind of mouth was agape watching it. Fans were like properly into it. It was a load of fun. I just don't think with how Otis is serious wrestler you can take seriously, comedy trappings. Tozawa, obviously, he's incredible. He's an incredible pro wrestler, but that's not how he's been presented by WWE. I didn't need, especially when American-made as a faction, a stable, have been...
Thoughts on the name?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Simple, clean, to the point. They've not had the best launch, considering they exist to put over another faction on day one. I think you can beat Tozawa and Otis cleanly and establish them as a true threat And I just never know how much they want to invest in Gable. So that almost affects my enjoyment of the act. But in the moment, in the throes of this really gnarly, just on the edge action, I had a blast with this match. Thought it was great. Great TV fare.
Then we go to a Pete Dunne interview from shot earlier on in the day in the empty arena. Jackie Redmond talks about Sheamus taking Dunne under his wing when he came up from NXT, but he cuts her off. He said he held me down, just used me to elevate him, basically. Sheamus went on the run of a lifetime because of him. All he got out of it was a terrible nickname and a front row seat to the Sheamus show. If Sheamus really did have the Brutus under his wing, where's Ridge Holland? Is it Chase U?
Was it Chase U? It's in Chase University.
He's going to win the tag titles tonight. Redmond obviously references Butch. Dunne says, I never want to hear that name ever again. I had to swallow my pride for 2 years. I'm not Butch. I'm the Bruiserweight. I'm an 18-year veteran. If I had to shut Sheamus up to never hear that name again, then that's what I'm going to do.
24 years old 2 minutes ago. Honestly, what's happened to time? I don't get it. I'm scared.
Figure it out. Do a gamble and figure it out. And we'll get more from Pete Dunne in a bit, I suppose.
Yeah.
WWE Physics. There's a video just showing how awesome Bronson Reed's killing of Seth Rollins was, and I was like, yep. And the bit where they put all 6 on the screen at the same time, and I was like,
Oh my God.
it's amazing last week, because it was just like, he said something in earlier on in the show, why haven't I got a match? Why has Sheamus got a match? Why haven't I got a match? And I thought, well, don't need to make any notes on that. That's not going to get followed up on. And then he killed Seth Rollins. It was the best thing ever, and they recapped it here in a weird, by-the-numbers sort of video. And Postman Pierce is bollocking him backstage. Lucky he only had to pay a fine. And he said, well, I warned you last week. I'm going to give you a second chance tonight. Find me an opponent or I'll find my next victim. Great all of a sudden.
Can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I still need to see him in a match. But he felt like a performer reborn. I thought it was remarkable. Again, I still need to see the evidence in the match because this is a really well done angle with one kind of move done over and over again. And it was similar deeper into the show. He still has instincts I would, with no hyperbole, describe as piss poor. Like that sell from Braun Strowman about a month ago. Rubbish. That NXT trained cartwheel and look and his body language. It's all a bit cheesy. We'll see. But my God, what a strong start.
Yeah. There's a promo from Io Sky and Kairi Sane. Unfortunately, Dakota Kai, as we reported on in the news, torn meniscus. Yes, a torn meniscus. So out for 8 to 10 weeks, did we say?
Yeah.
Get well soon to her. They said Shayna and Zoe are going to pay for what they did to Dakota Kai. And then we get a response from Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark. Pure Fusion Collective.
That's absolutely bobbins.
What was your name for them?
The Ministry of Starkness.
Oh my God.
That's obviously a pun. They're never going to go with that. I was being facetious. Pure Fusion Collective. That I've seen it's already become sort of a mini meme of what that sounds like. It sounds like the worst new rave band you've ever heard.
We are Pure Fusion Collective.
It sounds like the name of the band you come up with in sixth form. I don't know. Varsity. Yeah. I don't know. Senior year or whatever.
Yeah.
Your first sort of hipster band. Pure Fusion Collective. The one shot. Who come up with that?
Have you been in any? I was never in any bands.
I was.
Have you got a name?
Well, yes, I certainly do.
Oh,
I certainly do. I've got a feeling you're going to love it.
okay.
So we covered 2 songs. It was Got Away by The Offspring and Bomb Track by Rage Against the Machine. No singer.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a band. We just each were learning an instrument and thought we'd hang out.
Yeah.
Both thought, well, we're in a band, so we need a name. We need a name. What had we just seen at the cinema?
Okay, wait.
The year was Basically, just entering the 2000s.
Ooh.
What have we just seen at the cinema that we thought was good?
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha 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 ha!
Did it. Do you want a clue? Because it's around
Well,
the time.
is The Matrix late 90s or is that early noughties?
It's all
Fight Club. No, you're too young for that.
Not seen Fight Club.
Okay. At that, we're all in our 30s.
I'm 39 next month.
Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
No, maybe 1 or 2 years after that. I don't actually know the year. Maybe 2001, I want to say.
Okay.
2000, 2001. Do you want a clue? I think this film is goated.
Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls.
No.
Okay. I do. 2001. Oh, mate, someone like Donnie Darko. Not from what you just said there, but Donnie Darko.
No, not quite. That was when I was becoming. Have you heard of these things called David Lynch, The Smiths, and Donnie Darko? I think I'm a really cool intellectual, actually. So the band I was in was a couple of years before I became that kind of twat. I can see the lead on my screen right now, but not the picture.
I've got an idea.
Super Troopers is one of the greatest films of all time.
It's not that.
Oof.
You love the film Mission Impossible 2.
Mission Impossible 2, yeah.
In the film Mission Impossible 2, there is a virus.
Chimera. Is that what you called?
Chimera.
Oh.
But the game's not over yet.
Oh.
How do you spell chimera? Just
I'm
how do
very,
you just bring that up on your little Google?
I would spell it Chimera.
No. Have you ever heard of a band called Korn? Or a band called Limp Bizkit? Because I think you'll find that correct spelling is for nerds.
Yes.
And it's actually Kewl to misspell everything. That's how you. That's if you want to be in a new metal band, you have to misspell it, so it's actually Kick and Cuff. Kimera.
I really hope you introduce yourselves that. We are Chimera Kicking Her, so great. That went so much better than I was anticipating. That was amazing. Chimera, that's a good name. That's a really good name.
Well, do you think it's a good name?
Yeah, genuinely.
Because they're still touring with it to this day.
Right.
No, honestly, the drummer, I haven't seen him in years. He's a lovely guy. Actually kept up with his instrument.
What did you say? KY?
Kimera. Kept up with his instrument, became incredible at it. And they are a really popular local covers band in the Gateshead area. Yeah.
I found him. ChimeraOnline.com.
Or maybe, I don't know. They're based in Wickham, Sunnyside.
We are one of the
North
UK's
East.
most popular rock pop bands from the northeast of
They
England.
get gigs every single weekend. Concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Chesley Street. That's them. Honestly, the gig all the time.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to have to go and watch these. And podcast night.
I want the royalties because I came up with the name.
You just turn up. There you go. I'll be taking a cut of this. Thank you very much.
Indeed.
Do Limp Bizkit Mission Impossible song? Does it go out or not?
They should, but I don't know. Generally, one of the most popular, one of the popular pub rock bands around here. The gig all the time.
It's got loads of check out they've got loads of stuff on their YouTube channel. Go and check them out. That looks great. We're going to go and watch them. They've got loads of dates. We'll get them in. What were we talking about? Why was I talking about that? Oh, that's it, because the terrible new name for the Pure Fusion Collective.
Pure Fusion Collective. What an absolute joke.
I promised you
It's
earlier
pathetic.
I'd reveal my new name.
What are they fusing together?
I don't know.
No, seriously.
Fighting and wrestling.
Shut up.
I mean, those two things are already kind of fused. You have to anyway. I mentioned to you in the news that I'd tell you my new name.
Fused.
AW Fuse is still right there. I still don't know why Tony Khan's not picked it up from us. We still want to cut the royalties, obviously.
Because you light the fuse.
Yeah, before Dynamite.
Yeah, exactly. So you light the fuse to make the good thing happen. It's just a fuse sat there. That's not good. It's not exciting.
There's a lead. Could be the lead-in for Dynamite.
Okay.
The pre-show or whatever.
Fuse. Now it's time to light the fuse to make...
Bring the boom, Dynamite. Yeah, my new name I promised I'd tell you for the Unholy Union plus Blair Davenport. The Blair Witch Project.
Well, it's got legs, that. Feels instantly iconic when you say it.
And they ruined the tag match. It went to a DQ.
You say ruined, and you're not just saying things.
No.
Because this is quite hot.
Yeah.
I mean, primarily due to Io Sky being awesome.
Of course. Yeah, Stark tried to super kick Sky out the ring. Sonya Deville had been causing interference as well during the match. Sky ducked. Stark super kicked Alba Fire. Sky basically had the match won after hitting a moonsault, but as I mentioned, Dawn and Fire attacked for the DQ. I think this was meant to be a number one contenders match, so I've no idea what happens now. Probably all of them.
Probably a triple threat.
They announced it like last week, I think, next week. Yeah, triple threat. Correct.
Like, wrestling sucks, man. We've seen this on Collision. We've seen it now.
We'll allow it on Collision.
We'll allow it on Collision because the execution was good.
Christian Cage is the best.
It's one of my least favorite tropes. Well, looks like that chapter's over. We don't have to wrestle. We're wrestlers. We're paid to do it.
Yes.
We're trained to do it. There's never going to be a triple threat match here. No.
Miz is feeling a bit down in the dumps.
Because he sucks.
They lost a tag match last week.
Oh, right.
Quite funny,
Didn't watch
actually.
it.
He, R-Truth, I think, got... Who was it? Oh, it was Theory and Waller because Jelly Roll, who's got one of the best chokeslams in wrestling, it turns
No,
out.
it doesn't turn out. It turns out that Austin Theory's got a good vertical leap. It's the nicest thing I've ever said about him.
And, they had a match on Raw, and he got him up for the AA and spun around and knocked Miz out of the ring, basically, and then they lost the match. So Miz in a sad place off the back of that. R-Truth says, they're all right. But don't worry. I've got you an Intercontinental Championship match with Bron tonight. And Miz is like, what? Huh? Hasn't he got a match with Sami Zayn tonight? And Truth says, just look right there. And he points at the graphic, and it's not Bron Breakker. It's Bronson Reed.
Oh, God, can I go back to Menorca, please?
And Truth says, hey, isn't that the guy who killed Seth Rollins last week? And Orton shows up and says, isn't that the guy who killed Seth Rollins last week? But for once, The Miz does not run down his Wikipedia page. Orton does that for him. And tells him he can do it. And Miz goes, yeah, maybe I can, and heads off. And Truth says, you really think you could do it? Orton's like, nah. But speaking of Randy Orton, he comes out to cut a promo. Now he's got this title match at the end of the month against Gunther. Talked about winning the world title 20 years ago this month.
What?
God, we're old. 20 years ago is when he won his first world title.
I've probably seen like Randy Orton more often than my cousins and that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. I shouldn't have to live like this.
He became the youngest world champion in history, and history is going to repeat itself at Bash in Berlin. He's going to become a 15-time world champion. Gunther interrupts. Orton talks about taking a picture of this moment because it's coming home. The title, that is. Gunther says you should take a picture. Orton's one of the greats, but you're going to lose at the Bash. And really, you should be the greatest of all time, says Gunther. You're the most natural and physically gifted talent this industry has ever seen. You had unlimited potential, but you wasted it. This is a new era. This is the era of the ring general. In his era, there is no room for wasted potential. In the future of his era, Orton's not going to play a role anymore. Orton says, look, I never claimed to be perfect. I'm the most unpredictable WWE superstar of all time. I'm not cursed. I'm gifted. I've done it my way the entire time, and I'll always do it my way, the American way.
And God bless the United States.
Not an endorsement of him, just says it funny. Just to clarify there. He's got 5 kids. He's got a hot-ass smoke show of a wife. And then cherry on top is that he is a 14, soon-to-be 15-time world champion. So he appreciates Gunther's opinion, but he's done pretty damn well for himself. Thank you very much. So Gunther says, I'm going to give you the beating of a lifetime. As a result, you'll never be champion again. And if you wonder why I'm so sure, let's be honest, when it really matters, Orton's screw it. When it really matters, Orton's always screw it up. It must come naturally. Your grandfather was a screw up, your father was a screw up, and you're the biggest screw up of them all. Orton seethes. Doesn't do anything, though. And then Drew McIntyre's music hits. That obviously distracts Gunther, who turns around to an RKO out of nowhere.
I had a great time with this. I thought it was excellent, primarily for two reasons. One, I'm fairly certain Gunther is the best heel in wrestling. He's just got that, like, he's a perfect, chiseled guy these days. Not that he was imperfect before. Some say they like his old body better. But I think with this role that he's playing, he kind of has to look perfect, right? And he's just domineering above it all, above the company. He does it in such a cool way that it never feels like pandering. I don't like WWE boo me. It's something, he's not just doing this because he realizes that there's an engaged audience. It's something, he's had this character trait forever. He's like the purist, and he's just applied it to the context of being in WWE magnificently well. You know what I bitch about AEW being? Stand up for AEW and Team AEW. This is such a more, I'm sorry, elegant version of that kind of heat. It just is. So I really appreciate the way he's gone around that. And he's such a domineering, arrogant bastard. It's the heat is, you're right, but you're still an arsehole. So he's got that credibility and he's great, which is almost a bad thing because the second you become great at anything in wrestling, people just want to cheer you.
Exactly.
The balance he has over this, the mastery he has over this heel character, genuinely, really, really, really tremendous.
I can't wait to see how he's received in Berlin as well.
Oh, God. It's going to be crazy. We'll preview that nearer the time. I have worries about the dynamic, but that's a topic for another day. What else I loved about this, and maybe it's that maybe I'm falling into the trap of putting over WWE for doing the basics or, you know, analyzing it against the curve of what it was. But when Gunther said he'll never get that title again, there's a kind of a penny drop of, he might not. He might not. And how far we've come. There was a period, Randy Orton, you couldn't begin to in 2 minutes. I could give you, those like Sporkle quizzes. There's quizzes on the internet where you have to name like 50 things in 2 minutes, and it's like a mental exercise. I'd give you 5 minutes. I don't think you could do Randy Orton's chronological world title history.
No.
Maybe 2 minutes. I don't think you could do it.
No.
There was a period when I think it was between 2007 and 2009, where every match for the WWE title had one of Orton, Cena, and Triple H in it, across that entire 2-year pay-per-view period.
And Mania had all three, of course.
Yeah. And you just thought, all right, okay, well, he hasn't got the belt, he'll win it back.
Yeah.
He'll get it eventually. It feels now like these titles are really elusive, hard to attain. So when Gunther said it was like, there's a period when I was like watching Randy Orton without a belt and thinking, you'll get that soon. It doesn't mean anything. And then he'll lose and then he'll get it again. It really feels like these are difficult things to get. And that's how they should be portrayed in a wrestling promotion.
And I think it's a great first feud as well because no one's expecting Orton to, whoever faces him, no one's expecting Gunther to drop the title probably until at least WrestleMania next year. So yeah, why not have him do a match with Orton? Why not have him? I'm really excited about the match with Cena that's been talked about.
Yeah,
before
Gunther versus Cena could be the thing that makes me like Cena again. There's good narrative overlap with Cody as well. Now I'm banging to all of this, but it just put into perspective when he said that line of, things probably have changed.
You mentioned rah-rah speeches there, by the way. I know you weren't here for last week's Collision, not the one that's just gone, the one before. I'll take a wild guess as to...
Dax Harwood.
Yeah, correct. It's the correct answer.
Did he? Did he take the piss?
No, he did. He said about how he bloody loves... And how they were going to win the tag titles from Young Bucks. And Acclaim came out and went, we've got a title shot, dickhead. Mark Briscoe went, stop fighting. That was the end of Collision. But the Beast Mortal is still, I can assure you, absolutely goated.
Good.
So RKO out of nowhere, I forgot to mention, Drew McIntyre's out there, of course. He looks to get involved, but then suddenly, CM Punk, wait, what? I thought he was having travel issues. No. He attacks from the crowd. Drew comes back with a Glasgow kiss, takes off his belt. He's going to whip him, but Punk dodges it, grabs the belt, and whips Drew McIntyre. Hits him a few more times as they brawl into the ring, chases him out of there and into the crowd, and Drew just hightails it.
Strap match is a fantastic idea. We know what Punk can do. The dog collar, it's more or less the same thing. It's a very violent match that people can sort of feel on a level because you can hear it. It's one of the less... I mean, I've got any idea, really. It appears to be one of the less risky gimmick matches you can do because it's all very superficial, like incredibly painful. I mean, I've been whipped with a belt on my stag. Ooh, whipped with a belt on my stag, it kills. But you know, it hurt for a bit, and then I'll never feel that pain ever again. So it's a good one for Punk and his body to do right now. It's time for me to bury the SummerSlam match. It's the only thing I watched from SummerSlam. I saw some other good bits and bad bits via X, but it's probably not fair because I couldn't come up with a fair assessment for Gunther versus Damian Priest. I only saw that boneheaded move where he pushed him into the ropes to facilitate the Finn Balor
the roll,
thing.
yeah.
Stupid, but that's not a fair reflection on the match, so I won't review it. I did not want to watch any wrestling when I was away. Limited opportunities to do so, but I was up, as I often am, before the rest of the family, and rather than just sort of doze or go back to sleep, I was like, I want to watch Punk and Drew. I want to watch it to bury it, which I'm about to do. I don't. I'm invested in the story. Even though I think it peaked before SummerSlam. They've done a phenomenal job. It's Punk's first proper singles match in WWE in however long. It's history. I'm into it. I'm going to watch it. I thought it absolutely sucked, and evidently so did they on the evidence of this Raw. Was it a backstage exclusive, or did Punk speak on the show after?
Yeah, no, there's a bit in the
he knows
Kathy
it sucks.
Kelly
He knows deep down what was wrong. Even away from the friendship bracelet stuff, right, which I think has been touched upon. By the way, I understand the story. I just didn't like it. Why can't anyone grasp this? I mean, obviously people do. Oh, you don't get it?
Is that what people said when you said this on X? Or
No, I didn't say this, but a lot of people said it in response to people saying, why is it about friendship? It symbolizes his love for his wife. Oh, does it? Everyone knows this. They just think it's a pretty cheesy device. I'm loath to say this, right? One thing on the friendship bracelet before I talk about what I thought was the real problem and what I was disappointed by, right? One thing on the friendship bracelet, and I usually hate putting a take across like this. I've probably done it before, but I don't like doing it. Because I think the way I'm about to frame this take is often done in bad faith, and it's like a straw man argument and all the rest of it. Can you imagine if the Young Bucks built a match around a bracelet? Can you imagine what would happen? You know what I mean? Punk got... it was a very divisive match. I don't think anyone thought it was like this all-time great match. So maybe that's why I shouldn't put that take like that. But can you just imagine? Anyway, away from the friendship bracelet, away from the Seth Rollins stuff, away from the prop used, they have everyone else on the show virtually, especially at SummerSlam. It was really pronounced. They have everyone on the show doing methodical melodrama. Can Punk not do something else? I thought it was such a waste. You could tell that exact story with any other wrestler on the roster. That, for me, was the main culprit in this crime against professional wrestling that was that match at SummerSlam. They can, and in fact do, get virtually everyone on that roster to do methodically paced, melodramatic tone wrestling or their interpretation of wrestling. Do they have to get Punk to do it? Can they not just have Punk do Punk stuff when he's amazing at being CM Punk? It just felt so, well, you're on the team. This is how we play. It felt like Jack Grealish playing for Man City. CM Punk being in WWE in this era of it. And just to build on that point before we move on, I think one of the worst things that's happened to WWE, even that, like, for me in my taste, obviously I would never deny that they are insanely popular and all the rest of it. Because if you look at what's happened, like, it makes you feel old still that there's like an evolution in Triple H's booking. Like, Vince just got ousted 2 minutes ago in my head.
Yeah.
If you remember, like, they were saying wrestling every other word. Like, they were invoking the memory of Holly Race when Tommaso Ciampa was getting pushed. Like, it was quite that's all changed now. You don't really see any of that anymore. It's become this, like, cinema era or whatever. The worst thing for my tastes as a wrestling fan about this Paul Levesque era, some of which I've praised on this show, and I like, is they've realized, people think the cinema thing's a thing, and they like the cinematic aspects or whatever, and it's everywhere. It's the thing. It's the product now, and it's CM Punk have to do their version of quote unquote cinema, or can he not just do some good pro wrestling? Because that's what he's amazing at. They could have told that exact story with the bracelet with anyone on this roster. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mentioned the Punk thing now, actually. Yeah, Kathy Kelly catched up with Punk in the back.
He knows it sucked. That's what. Hence this.
They mentioned the travel issues, and he was like, "Yeah, I was on the plane with you." I just said that because I knew Drew wouldn't show up if I was here. I wanted to get my hands on him. He's still running around with that bracelet. I don't care about the actual bracelet. McIntyre can keep it. I just wanted to keep my wife's name and my dog's name out of his mouth.
You don't care about the actual bracelet, mate. Why did you deny yourself victory in order to get it back? I'm being facetious. They know they stunk the gaff out. They know it was bad, and they are retconning it. And they are that this promo existed to tell the people like me and the other ones who didn't like it that was wildly misjudged. We are not doing bracelet stuff anymore, rest assured.
McIntyre ran from a fight.
We've retconned it.
Ran from a fight he claimed he wanted. He holds up the belt and says, "That gives me an idea." Strap match, as you mentioned.
Indeed, yeah.
On the road to Bad Blood and Hell in a Cell.
Oh my God.
In amongst all that, Jackie Redmond interviewed Sheamus. He doesn't understand what Pete Dunne's issue is. Ludwig Kaiser interrupts, says this isn't over between us. And in amongst all this, Pete Dunne attacks Sheamus and breaks his hand basically with it whilst it's on one of them flight boxes.
Yeah.
Why
is he dressed up? Is he always dressed up as a brawling brute backstage? Or
I think that's just Sheamus's. That's
right.
Genuinely just the way he dresses.
Okay. I thought it was very much we were in the brawling brutes here. I'm going to dress up like him again.
No, that's that.
Is that just
that's his style. He's been dressing like that for a while. Mark Henry and his summer in the crowd. That was nice to see. And he watched Bronson Reed kill the Miz and R-Truth. Miz did make a comeback after a break, hit a tornado DDT and got a 1 count, and then thought it kicks were a good idea against Bronson Reed. Yeah, he no-sells them. Miz gets caught trying to springboard crossbody. Death Valley driver, tsunami, 1, 2, 3, but it was all about the post-match. Reed goes for another tsunami, but Truth saves Miz. So Truth's the one who eats consecutive tsunamis. Again, officials, Postman Pierce run out. He just keeps hitting him with it. They drag him away, but they drag him to the other corner. So Bronson Reed just goes, I'll just go up there then. More tsunamis, one more. The crowd are well into this now.
It's really stunningly, shockingly, unexpectedly effective, this. I cannot believe it. I thought he was absolutely finished before I went on holiday.
He's just been brilliantly re-established, even if it is just for a one-off Seth Rollins match in Berlin or Bad Blood or whatever. Yeah. I think Seth Rollins is legit injured, though, for a bit, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Banged up, chronic pain.
Sami Zayn is fighting to regain his Intercontinental Championship in the main event, and Jey Uso is trying to hype him up backstage. You've beaten Bron before, you can beat him again. Beat him twice in this 2 out of 3 falls match, of course. And then we're going to beat the Judgment Day Street Trash to win the tag titles. This helps. Zayn gets pumped up. They do the handshake. Yeet! And then, they mentioned the huge match that they've added to Bash in Berlin involving 2 members of the Judgment Day and 2 members of Street Trash. And then we got the main event. Bron Breakker versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. They do that awesome tracking shot of Bron walking through the back saying he's going to do badass things.
I love his stupid gear, and I mean that in the nicest possible way. That dumb jock energy. Badass. Meaner than evil. There ain't nothing eviler than thee. I love that. Meaner than evil. What the hell does that mean, you dumb jock? I love you.
They went to a break within like the first minute. Zayn hit a flip dive. But Bron's in control when we come back. Spinebuster for 2. Zayn hits a tornado DDT. He gets a 2. Bron hit a German suplex.
Let's keep going.
And then Sami Zayn out of nowhere hits a haluva kick for the first fall. 1, 2, 3. So, 1-0 up for Sami Zayn. I think I've just remembered what you're doing this for. Sami Zayn tried a moonsault off the barricade. Bron caught him.
Oh my God.
Ran towards the timekeeper's area and lawn darted Sami Zayn into.
I thought he'd been f***ing decapitated. This was absolutely tit. Absolutely tit.
It was great, wasn't it?
That you need this. You want that. You want to harness the energy that Bron Breakker shows in those angles into the body of a match, and this is a perfect spot to do that. I thought this match was great.
Yeah. Bron also hit I think after a break, Bron hit a Frankensteiner for a near fall. Press slam, consecutive spears, 1, 2, 3. He levels it up at 1-1. Bron's confident he's got this match won. Zayn catches him with a crucifix, but Bron kicks out at 2. He leans Zayn against the announce table, does that awesome flying clothesline off the apron. She's just like, well, here I come. He's going to take the count out, but Zayn just makes it in at 9. So Bron thinks, I'll just take care of him. Zayn hits a sunset flip, sit-out powerbomb for a great near fall. Bron blocks an exploder, hit an overhead suplex. Zayn leaped over a spear and got a schoolboy for another great near fall before the finish. But Bron hits a drop kick, spear. Oh no, goes for a spear. Zayn boots him for another near fall, and then Zayn tries to come off the top. Shades of Shane McMahon. Just gets speared out of the air by Bron Breakker. 1, 2, 3. He retains the Intercontinental Championship.
One minor pedantic, I don't think it's that pedantic. One minor criticism before I lavish praise on this match. Sami Zayn's better than a flying nothing. He's better than a flying nothing. Would it kill these guys to throw up an axe?
Do an axe handle, yeah.
You know what I mean? But then did the ends justify the means? Yeah, the spear looked tits. So you could argue that. This was, outside of the Wolf Dogs, of course, I think my favourite Bron Breakker match. Ooh. I thought this was excellent. The spot I touched on earlier, the lawn dart over the barricade, I thought he'd broken his neck. It was just the idea of Bron Breakker as a horrible, reckless, doesn't care about your safety. Mm-hmm. He will kill you in a very badass assortment of ways. That's one of his best spots ever. I thought this was such an excellent use of the stip. I couldn't believe how dramatic this was. The last 5 minutes of this kicked ass. Just a formality. This is just what you do. Feud's over. Let's dress it up with a little stipulation. You know who's going to win. Tie your bow on it if you must, because it was 1-1. Mm-hmm. Sami's not winning the title. It's just the thing to do. I thought Sami was winning at least 2 times.
Yeah.
2 or 3 times here. Really dramatic. Bron Breakker individually looked like a killer. This is the first time I thought he got the balance right. Usually there's the bit where Bron Breakker's the killer, then a slow bit where you can't really buy him on defense or selling, and then he's a killer again, and then another lull. And it's this sort of like uneven quality to the Bron Breakker match. This was the most where I thought he was in a position of peril. Mm-hmm. The drama. I don't think they're dramatic Bron Breakker matches. They're well worked. He offers something like this incredible, visceral. It gives you the just bleed and then bit bored. Just bleed, bit bored. Just bleed, bit bored. This was the most where it felt like a proper, dramatic, full match with Bron Breakker. A lot of it will be Sami Zayn because he's an in-ring genius and he's just a general pro wrestling genius for that matter. But no, I thought this is his best match ever. I thought I had a fantastic time with this.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. Just looking across the board there, how many different people within WWE are you like, well, they're not dropping the title for a long time? Cody, Gunther, Bron Breakker, LA Knight, arguably. I think
he's just won it.
He's just won it. He's probably going to carry it maybe at least even till WrestleMania next year. Obafemi, probably. Yeah. He's not going to stopping him for a while. Not many times that they've got that sort of a cross section.
When Nia wins it.
Yeah, well, she's
just won it.
Yeah, but I know you got the cash in that's inevitably coming, but yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why SummerSlam was one of my favourite shows of the year. So many results that I was like, come on, Bron, LA, Queen Night.
It was Angle City as well.
Yeah, it was every match told the story.
Every match tells a story, dick face.
Let us know your thoughts on Monday Night Raw in the comment section below or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Well, actually, you can follow both of us. You can follow Michael Sidgwick at...
I'm Sidgwick.
You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. Follow our brilliant producer at It's Adam Nicholas. And make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Me and Sid will be back later on today to preview NXT. But for now, this has been the Raw Review. My thanks to Michael Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you soon.